Why do you think storytelling is so important in an industry like automotive?
It is important in any industry, but especially automotive. So I asked my phantom coworker, ChatGPT, what kind of car should I own? And it said the Genesis.
What would you say is the most important thing that you want the audience that you'll have at Women in Automotive to walk away with?
It's actually not a plan. I will give a little bit of a plan. I have been reading on the internet. It is authenticity and connection.
How do we discover the brand of the dealership?
Oh, so many good things to talk about here. I'm sorry, Shasta. I am the best-selling author of that book. Right. Get it right.
Amazing. Tell me about this book and what led you to write it. Another day, another podcast. Welcome back to the I'm a Car Chick podcast. You already know it's me, Shasta Haddock. I can't wait to introduce you to my guest today. I've been speaking with her a bit offline, and I think that she is going to bring you so much value. So without further ado, please help me introduce Women in Automotive speaker, the CEO of the Evolution Collective, Inc., author and speaker trainer, Aleya Harris. Aleya, thank you so much for joining me today. How are you?
I am doing fabulously, Shasta. Thank you so much for having me.
It is a pleasure to get to talk to you. And we talked quite a bit offline for the last 10, 15 minutes where I got to know a little bit about you. But I kind of want to know your story. You're not necessarily in automotive, but you bring so much to the table for anybody at any conference, but especially women in automotive. How did you kind of get your start with storytelling and branding and all of that?
I got a start in storytelling when I got laid off and I was without very many other options. So I've naturally been a speaker. I am the one that was in elementary school that always got in trouble for talking, and I did not know how to whisper. And the poor person sitting next to me just had to endure, right? So I had a natural knack for it. But when I was the head of marketing for a very large corporate food service and facilities management company, I had arranged for them to send me to Nashville for a week to become certified as a story brand certified guide. It was a pretty penny. Then I got back and then they laid me off 2 weeks after that. And I said, oh, okay, so what do I got going on for me, right? I had a little bit of a severance. Cool. That's not going to last forever. I had a shiny new storytelling certification, gift of gab, for better or for worse. And I was about to go off into the Amazon for a week-long ayahuasca experience, which is a spiritual journey.
Yeah.
So I got back and I combined all of that together. And here we are now where I help companies use the power of story and storytelling to connect with themselves, their team members, and their audiences. I also help people who want to be on the stage connect with themselves, their team members, and their audiences.
I love that. So why do you think, I want to just kind of jump right into it. Why do you think storytelling is so important in an industry like automotive?
It is important in any industry, but especially automotive. So I just got a new car. Her name is Honey, by the way, just in case you're wondering.
What'd you get?
I love her. I got a Genesis GV70.
That's the second time I've heard that, like in the last couple of months, somebody buying a new Genesis and just being in love. In love. Now, before I got this car, I was a Mercedes girl through and through, and I still love me some Mercedes. So there ain't nothing wrong with Mercedes. I'm not knocking it. Okay, nobody tell me that there's anything wrong with a Mercedes. But I don't know whether you noticed or not, the car prices are a little bit higher than they used to be. So I'm looking at other options. And I was like, what else can I get? So I asked my phantom coworker, ChatGPT, based on my personality, what kind of car should I get? And it listed a couple, and it said the Genesis. And I compared the Mercedes and the Genesis. And the thing that got me, before I scheduled a test drive, the thing that got me about the Genesis
was it said something along the lines of like, we're redefining luxury. They're about breaking the status quo, going against what you think you needed based on the old school norms and moving forward, but still having it be luxury. Well, baby, that's what I'm all about.
Yeah.
Rediscovery, redefining, rewriting. So I will still bleed that little Mercedes star if you cut me, right? However, the little wings from Genesis will also be in the bloodstream because I love it, because I connected with it from a story perspective. If you take the logos off of any car, I mean, the car is Korean. I don't really know how much is actually made in Korea, right? A Mercedes is German. Oh, like how much of it really is German, right? The parts end up being similar. The paint color, I mean, yes, if you're very discerning, this gray is different than that gray, but I mean, come on, it's gray, right? There's not a lot there until you connect. And actually, I asked ChatGPT. It gave me all of these options. And I use ChatGPT like a lot, so it knows probably more about me than it needs to. So like if the AI apocalypse comes, like it won't come and get me because like we're besties, me and ChatGPT. And it listed all of the cars that it thought I should get, with the Genesis GV70 being one of them. But Mercedes and BMW were not on the list. And I've had both. And my husband has a BMW now. He loves it. He's like, like that racing, gripping the road, right? And I asked, hey, just for kicks and giggles, why didn't you bring up Mercedes or Benz? I mean, Mercedes or BMW, because I thought that was my car. And in like almost like a disgusted tone, ChatGPT got back to me. He's like, that's not your story right now. You're not old school. You're new school. You're not this, you're that. It was all about the story, how I connected with the story and the vision I had for my life.
Wow.
That's how the brain works. And also, I love my new car.
It got it right. It's so funny how the more conversations I have with people, especially about their use of ChatGPT, I learn so much. And I feel like in our office, I'm probably one of the top 2 or 3 users of ChatGPT. And then I just keep getting reintroduced to new ways to do it. Like I would have never thought to check it for a new car. And I've done medical blood work in there and financial stuff in there, like all sorts of stuff. But
oh yeah, I've done that all too. Yeah.
That's crazy. Like, and for it to be that accurate and know, like, and also like props to you for taking such a leap and listening to it. Like, that's a big decision.
Well, I wasn't going to go blind. I mean, I test drove, right? I wasn't going to go blindly, but it opened my eyes to something I didn't even know about, and the connection that I didn't even know about. And it knows a lot about me because I do have my own podcast. So I upload the transcripts of it to do editing, and then it has my book uploaded and all these things. So when I asked it for detail, it said, well, your lifestyle, you have your Ruby Coral, who's my daughter. My daughter is named Ruby Coral. She's 2.5. Ruby Coral, her car seat fits in the back. You don't have to feel like you're driving a mom car, because I know you want to feel sexy, but I know you want to be elegant. And if you're taking it out to a speaker event, you'll get the wow factor, but also that understated luxury, because you don't have to scream to the world that you have money. Like, it was great. But the entire thing is based on story, because humans are irrational. Irrational. If I was the most rational human in this economy, I would have gone for.
This episode is brought to you by Epic BDC, your #1 outsourced BDC solution. Check out more about Epic BDC by clicking the link in the show notes or visiting epicbdc.com.
The most reliable car at the cheapest price to get me from point A to point B. I don't even know what car that is, because that is not what I'm going to do.
Right.
Not what I'm going to do, because that's not how I'm going to buy something. I want something that makes me feel something. People shop with their heads. People buy with their hearts.
100%.
Unless you can write a story that targets someone's heart, whether they're buying a car, whether they're buying an idea, whether they're buying into a leadership principle, whether they're buying what you're selling from the stage. If you do not tap into their hearts, they are not going to buy from you.
Period.
Period.
Yeah, I don't even know how to follow that. I mean, it hits the nail on the head. And more importantly, I mean, I'm sitting back here thinking, like, if I'm a dealer principal, I'm number one, I'm buying into this because obviously you just told me why I need to. But how do I, as you know, we're looking at the dealers out there, how do they start to figure out what their brand is? Like, is it, you know, if the dealer principals say that I'm a veteran and I'm a father, like, is that the brand of the dealership? Probably not. How do we discover the brand of the dealership or of the business we run?
Oh, so many good things to talk about here. Let's see how we can condense this. So I want you to think of a Venn diagram, you know, the little circles that intersect. One circle is the problem of your ideal client. The other circle is your passion, the things that you are super love. And then the third circle are the things that you do really well or can say that you do better than most. When the three of those things intersect, that's the core of your story. So let's go back to Genesis, for example, right? Okay. The core of the car was basically like, I'm a luxury car, a little bit less money. I got all the bells and whistles, and it's cute. You're not a mom-mobile. Cute, cute, cute. The passion of the brand is breaking the norm, breaking the rules. The passion of the dealer that I bought it from was, shout out Galpin. Hey, Galpin, that's where I bought it from in Van Nuys. They have many, it's a huge, they have
huge
Ford.
Group.
They have,
Their Ford store is always number one in the nation.
Huge, right? They have their own restaurant on site. Did you know?
No,
It's been since the 1950s or something. The Galpin restaurant, pretty good food. Their brand is basically customer service is good throughout. We galvanize our vehicles so you might get a little bit extra. Oh, and by the way, once you're in your family kind of feeling. So I knew that if I was going to go break the status quo with this car brand that I had never even really heard of before, going to Galpin would be my best bet because I, one, could have a bunch of other options. Two, they weren't really trying to sell me. It's not a hard sell. They really don't have to. They ain't desperate over there.
Yeah.
And three, they have at least from what I've heard and what I've experienced, I'd like to shout out Daryl as well, who helped me. That's the thing. The car's not, I haven't had the car for that long, but I still remember the dude's name who sold it to me because he made me feel taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
All of that is what they uniquely can do better than everybody else. Their reputation and what they stand for, intersecting with the passion of the car, my identity, and the problem that I needed to solve meant that there was no better place for me to go than Galpin. And I actually looked at other Genesis dealers in my area. And Galpin's Genesis dealership is what are those things, like the portables that look like they're the buildings that you just you build, you bring it on the trailer and you plop down?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? There are other dealerships for Range Rover and all, they're beautiful, beautiful, but their Genesis dealership is so new that they haven't really technically built it yet. Mm-hmm. So I chose a portable stand-up of a dealership over the beautiful showroom another city over because of the Galpin brand.
That's impressive.
It's a story. The other dealership could have been great. I wouldn't know because I already bought my car, right? From one who told a better story.
Right. That's so much to think about because when we look at Galpin, we'll just call them our test subject right now. They have so many stores and not just in one city. They're an auto group that covers different portions of California. When we look at that and look at something that large of a scale, how do you ensure that brand is carried and that storytelling is carried in the marketing across all of those and every salesperson's interaction, every service advisor's interaction?
I don't know how Galpin does it, but if Galpin needs help, call me. But you guys are clearly doing great. I love my car. But how other companies do it is this. First thing is you keep it super simple. You know that idea that just sprang into your head? Simpler than that. So that people can grab onto it as a concept. You also layer in 3 ideas at once. How you solve and people buy into the external problem that you solve. So the problem of your ideal client in their head. What the heart is, how you're connecting from the heart, and what the gut is. What is the sense of justice? What do people deserve? What is right and wrong? For this, we're going to go to Harry Potter. Total non sequitur.
I'm in.
The very end, this is a spoiler alert, but the movies and the books have been out for so many years now. If you haven't watched or seen them, that's on you. At the very end, Harry kills Lord Voldemort with the Elder Wand. In that moment, we've been waiting for 7 books, 8 movies, right? And it was this one moment where it was like, yes! And raving fans were created or continued. It was the external problem. He died. Voldemort, he died. External problem, solved. Internal problem. I am good enough. I am confident as Harry Potter. Because, if we're honest, it was not the best wizard. Right? I mean, we got Hermione. We got Hermione. We got, just saying, Dumbledore. There are other options.
Yeah.
Besides Harry here. Hagrid wasn't even a full wizard. I still would have picked him over Harry. But in that moment.
Did you know that there's a monthly newsletter where you can keep in touch with everything the I'm a Car Chick podcast is up to? There is. Check out the show notes below, and you can also follow us on all social media and stay in tune with whatever we're up to.
There was no denying that he was capable. So the emotional problem was solved. And then you had the philosophical problem of good deserves to triumph over evil. If in your story, you allow people to understand how they are part of that experience for your clients and how the company involves them as part of that experience. And oh, by the way, how their lives also fit into that experience. Those 3 areas coming together under a singular concept, that's when it becomes infectious. That's when it becomes easy to understand and easy to execute. And easy to be consistent across because it comes out of the mind, it's out of the storybook and into the heart of the storyteller. Then everyone is a story architect, participating in creating and shaping the story, which is a living, breathing experience of your brand.
You're making it so hard for me to follow you. Like
I'm so sorry. I should ask a question back. Hey, Shasta, what do you think about that?
Well, number 1, I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. Number 2, it explains why I'm a huge Harry Potter fan now. Other than that, I'm not into wizard stuff. But we all fell in love with Harry, as a child, and then him and his friends, and Hagrid, and Dumbledore, all of them. As we grew up with them. I mean, I was in the age range that I was reading those in junior high school. And so I really grew up with Harry.
I remember standing in line at midnight at Barnes and Noble waiting for it to drop.
Yep.
The next book to drop. Like, they don't do that nowadays. It was a time. It was a time and a time.
Or having to wait in line at the movies for the midnight showing of Half-Blood Prince or Deathly Hallows Part 1.
Yeah.
And you're right. It pulls at our heartstrings because we see ourselves and our friends in these characters we're reading. It is the ability of the storyteller in J.K. Rowling to rally us all together like that.
Yeah.
And so
doesn't everyone want to feel capable? Yes. Doesn't everyone want to feel like they are the good ones and they're triumphing over evil? Doesn't everyone want to know that they have the capacity to slay whatever villain or demon or challenge is in front of them? And by doing so, they'll be celebrated for it and they'll find the relief and peace of mind that they've been looking for? That's the true power of story. The human connection across the details of the story is what is the most important. That I can see myself in your story. I could see myself at that Galpin dealership, right?
Well, because you bought.
Clearly saw myself there very clearly.
So we've talked about the what. Let's talk about the how. So if I'm always gonna take it back to hypotheticals. So I'm a dealer. I'm bought in. I want to start storytelling. Does this involve mostly marketing? Do I have to retrain my sales team and teach them branding, or not branding, storytelling? How do I start? How do I get this message to my future customers, my current customers? Like, this is who I want to establish myself as. This is the dealership I want to be. I want to galvanize everything. How do we start?
Well, first of all, take a deep breath, because we are about to begin our hero's journey. It's better for effect if you say it that way. So once you've begun your hero's journey, you have to start off with your why that is strong, because the hero's journey will have trials and tribulations. So why is it that you want to storify everything? Is it just the money? Spoiler alert, that is not going to get you to the end of the journey.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be tied to a greater sense of purpose. And I like to articulate that purpose in what I call a controlling idea. A controlling idea is the reason why you're telling the story, plus the subject of the story, plus your point of view. So let's say that I am telling you a story about, I don't know, I just got new glassware. Telling you the story about this glass. Nice, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's very durable as well. Anyways, my other one's broke. I digress. I'm telling you a story about this glassware. So that's the subject. But why am I telling you a story about this glassware? What's the purpose of the story? Well, the purpose is to talk about resilience. The purpose of me telling you this story is not to talk about the fact that I have a glassware addiction, which I might, don't judge me. It's to talk about resilience and how something, even as fragile as glass, if it's well constructed, can be both beautiful and resilient at the same time. That is my point of view. So think of it like a thesis statement for a college essay. My thesis statement is that resilience can be both beautiful and useful at the same time if constructed properly. And so what I'm going to then do is to tell you about the construction and prove to you that that is true. When you're thinking about a controlling idea for your dealership, can you prove, or maybe you might want to prove, that both extreme customer service and extreme value can coexist, even in today's economic climate with tariffs and body-dabba-dooba, right? The body-dabba-dooba was code for all the other stuff I don't like right now. So if that is your controlling idea, then you start to get curious about it. Before you've ever talked to anybody, this is you in your desk, or preferably you sitting poolside somewhere having a come to Jesus moment with yourself. Sitting and you're like, if I believe that's true, what would look differently about the way I think, about the way I act, about the way I lead, and about the way I communicate? If I truly believed that great customer service and great value could coexist in this economy, well, that might mean that I put an espresso machine in the waiting room and also incentivize my team differently, and also change the cost structure of my service department while they're being rewarded for their survey results more, but also at the same time rewarded for let people coming back less frequently for repeat issues. Well, then how would I communicate differently? Well, I'll make sure that I'm making this up, weekly all-team email blasts are not just, well, we've sold this many units and this is the new thing coming out and here are the recalls and here are the... It's not that. It's, I would really like to celebrate Joseph, because this week I had a story that Joseph served this customer really, really well. And at the same time, I'd like to celebrate Joseph because he was able to find a problem that was less costly than it would have been before. right?
Mm-hmm.
This episode is brought to you by SCP Agency, your one-stop shop for organic social media. Check them out by clicking the link in the show notes or visit scpagency.com.
If you can get yourself on board with that controlling idea, and you can also get yourself on board with all of the changes that it's going to take to make your controlling idea a reality, then you're willing to go on and ready to go on your journey. If you're not, well, then, my friend, just stop. Don't even bother, story. Just stop.
Yeah, just
keep doing the status quo and hope for the best.
Because you can easily mess it up and get the wrong messaging out there, the wrong story out there. It's just as easy to mess it up.
Yeah, it's easy to mess it up. And the biggest mess up is starting a story and never finishing. Because then what you're doing is you're damaging your reputation, you're damaging your team morale, you're damaging your integrity, which in the car industry, integrity, I mean, you don't got much else, right?
Yeah.
So that's why the commitment to go fully into storytelling being woven into all of the areas that you mentioned is highly important. So you asked me, will my sales department have to change? Yes. Will my marketing have to change? Yes. Will my leadership have to change? Yes. All of it aligned around a central controlling idea, but it will also allow you to become more streamlined, more focused, not doing a bunch of stuff that you're not sure if it's going to work or not and run around like a chicken with your head cut off. Everyone's marking in the same direction because everyone knows that they're balancing expert service with value, right?
Yeah. I think about, I was at NIADA last week, which is the automotive conference for specifically independent dealers. And one of the sessions, actually one of the only sessions I got to sit in, was about the use of social media and storytelling through social media. And when we think about in 2025 what storytelling looks like, the first place people's minds start to go is, I believe I could say confidently, social media. And we think about, how we're doing that on social. We think about how we're having those conversations, the videos that we're making, because, we all know the biggest platform right now is TikTok. And you have to utilize TikTok with videos. And so I don't want people to get it wrong or to get discouraged when it doesn't show an immediate ROI. What kind of advice would you have for the dealer that's wanting to use social media for that storytelling to not get discouraged or not do it the wrong way? Like, where do we start? Where do we, get rolling at?
The first thing that I want you to know that social media needs to be used for what it is used for, and you don't have any delusions that it's something else. So social media is I want to get to know you tool. People don't usually run right off, see an Instagram post about a car and then go to the car dealership the next day. That's not usually how that works. So it's about getting your personality out there and getting your story out there in a way that if they're on the fence or if they're shopping around, you're implanting yourself into their hearts. That's the purpose. That's what we're trying to do. So don't get caught up in the follower counts and the like counts. If anything, look at engagement and reach. How many people are engaging with you? How many people are you reaching? Because that doesn't mean that people are not necessarily going to follow you. People are not necessarily going to like everything or be as obvious about their engagement as you might think they would be, but it doesn't mean that it's not working.
Right.
Also, social media, especially nowadays, is not a get-rich-quick scheme. If you are using social media, it used to be like, oh, okay, I could tell my clients, like, oh, just post a couple times a week. You'll be okay. Nah, girl. Daily. You're posting daily. You're posting content that is helpful, that is not really sales-oriented. That's all about, like, seeing yourself behind the wheel or, like, honey, my Genesis plays ambient music, kind of like meditation music. Like there's this one button. I like Lively Forest. And it's very zen. My car is my place of zen. But did you also know that lively forest is the surefire way to put my 2.5-year-old to sleep? I've learned about lively forest. Have you? And I, as a toddler mom, maybe weren't considering Genesis before, but I stumbled across Galpin Genesis's TikTok, and they talked about lively forest and toddlers, it would have immediately been on my radar, right? You know? You have to talk about stories like that.
Yeah.
Talk about, the customer service stories. Show someone under the hood because it doesn't even look like much anymore. Like, talk to me about what it really means to be in a relationship with you.
Right.
Think about social media storytelling, like dating. Like, imagine it's just your side of the conversation, right? Like, so what would you say, assuming you're like good at dating, I guess? Like, if you're sitting across from someone at dinner, you would talk about like, these are my hopes, these are my fears, these are my dreams, this is what I want, this is how I help people, this is how I serve, this is how I show up in the world, this is how I do good, these are the things I'm not proud of in the past that I've overcome, and this is how I've done it, right? And obviously you'd pause in between to like listen to their feelings if this were a real date, but since it's social, you just get to keep on talking and sharing your side and then keep on inviting people to interact with you. That's the best way to look at social media. As you are building your social media presence, you also want to think about how can you build a story that is cohesive still around your controlling idea. You don't want to just go off the rails with random social media posting, because then you really won't gain any traction.
I've done that before on accident, and then I'm like, 20 minutes later, I'm like, that wasn't a good idea. I gotta go and do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
It happens.
20 minutes is better than 20 months.
What would you say is the most important thing that you want the audience that you'll have at Women in Automotive to walk away with? Like a plan or an idea for a plan?
It's actually not a plan. I will give a little bit of a plan, but the most important thing is not a plan. I have been reading on the internet and also experiencing from my clients the differentiation point right now.
You've made it this far, and I have to say thank you so much for listening. Please be sure to rate the show, whether you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, subscribe on YouTube, and of course on all social media channels. Light it up.
It is authenticity and connection. AI can do a lot, and people are over AI. People want to see the real photo. People want to see the real person. People want to see, we're selling cars. You got to do the sexy pictures too, right? Like, but you also want to be like, here's Jill. She just bought her car. Look at that real look of excitement on her face.
Mm-hmm.
And tell me a little bit about Jill. Is this her first luxury car? Right? Did Jill just win the lotto and this is the first place she came was to buy her Genesis? Tell me about that so that I can, relate. People are looking to just relate while we're all sitting on Zoom in our pajama pants. We want to know that somebody out there is real.
Right.
And women, I'm not biased, but I kind of am. We do that much better than men. Much better. So use the power of connection that we have as women to be your biggest marketing asset.
Facts. Speaking of speaking and the things that we can do as women, behind you, I see this little, and if you're listening to the podcast and not seeing, I'm going to explain it to you. There's a beautiful flower arrangement, and right next to it is a book with a pink microphone on it. That speaks to me. And it says, Spark the Stage. And if I remember right, you are author of said book.
I'm sorry, Shasta. I am the best-selling author of that book. Get it right.
Best-selling author of Spark the Stage. That is amazing. Tell me about this book and what led you to write it.
Spark the Stage is a book that will teach you from soup to nuts how to become a compelling speaker who can deliver a clear, captivating signature talk from the stage. It is the written version of my course, Spark the Stage, which I did not want to create. I was speaking at actually a couple of women's conferences in a row. And after each of these 4 conferences, people came up to me and said, Content's great. I have no questions about that. You're great. You're wonderful. I'm going to do the thing. But about you speaking on stage, how do I do that? And I will give anybody the time of day, more than the time of day when they're right in front of my face. And that was all I wanted to do because I was trying to be selfish and focus on my speaking career, not yours, mine.
Yeah.
But after this happening for 4 consecutive conferences, I said, okay, if I have like a 4-week workshop about this, would y'all come? And I'm charging for it. So this is not free, but would you come? They paid, they came, they loved it, they sent their friends, and then my course was born. And from there, I am a speaker, and my eyes are always on my speaking and my type of speaking, which is radically authentic, strategic storytelling. I knew that in order to be a speaker to command higher speaker fees, you need a book. It just is what it is. So I wrote about the thing that I was the most passionate about, which is helping people become the best versions of themselves. My purpose in life is to love people into the highest versions of themselves. And that's the sneakiness that I do within my course and my book. By the time you're done with the meditations, the workshops, the storytelling exercises, building your media kit, getting on stage, building your confidence, you will be a better version of yourself than when you started with the book or with the course. And all of that is embedded, and you can get it on Amazon, Spark the Stage, or anywhere books are sold.
You just convinced me to buy it before the conference. I was going to wait and have you bring one, but I'm now going to buy one ahead of time and just have you sign it while we're there, because
I will sign anybody's book that would like to do that.
Because I'm also speaking at Women in Automotive, and I need that level of excitement and energy and captivation that you've got going on, because you literally keep rendering me speechless. Like I just talking and me shut up.
Well, I am a speaker. That's the hardest part about me and podcasts, whether it's my podcast or somebody else's. I'm like, okay, this is not a keynote. I probably should take a breath. But I just love what I do. And it's not, and very, very much not because I love the sound of my voice. What I do is I help people believe that their transformation is possible. And I love seeing their eyes light up when they realize, oh my gosh, not only am I motivated, but I'm now equipped to participate in my own transformation. And I am off to the races. That's what I love.
Well, you definitely have me. I will be in your session, and I'm hoping that everybody else listening will be there too, because
they should be. You should totally come. Like, please come.
I'm on. Yeah. I mean, the only thing I have to worry about is if it conflicts with my session. It does. I've looked at it, and I don't remember who else speaking at the same time I am, but I will be there. I will be in the front row cheering you on and captivated in every word. Guys, if you haven't gotten your ticket yet to the Women in Automotive Conference, you need to come. You need to see Aleya speak. You need to buy her book on Amazon, Spark the Stage. It has a beautiful pink microphone on the cover. You cannot miss it. Make sure that you're there. And again, remember, I've got a discount code for you that I cannot put on social media. I cannot. It is only available by my lips in this podcast. That code is CarChick25. CarChick25. Use it to get your ticket for the Women in Automotive Conference. Come see Aleya. Come see the other speakers that we have. And again, buy her book, buy her course, do all the things, get involved with Aleya, because you guys know I don't get hyped up like this often. I'm ready to go to conquer the world right now just from this. So August can't come soon enough. We're right at a month out of conference.
I know, it's July 2nd. August is on its way. I am so thrilled to meet everyone in person. I hope everyone can come to my session. And if they can't, well, at least buy the book. Buy the book as a consolation prize, and then send me an email and be like, I can't come, but I love you anyways.
Yes. What's the best way for people to connect with you if they won't be able to attend, or if they want to connect with you ahead of the conference?
You should go to aleyaharris.com. That's ALEYAHARRIS.com. And you can probably find more about me there than you really wanted to know. And also, I'm feeling like one of the cool kids. So I'm not tech non-savvy, but I'm not like a software designer or anything. But I kind of am a software designer adjacent, because I just created my own GPT, like Chat GPT, but my own GPT. It's called Spark Your Story Virtual Coach. And what it is if you're on aleyaharris.com on the homepage, you can get it. And you can also go to aleyaharris.com/spark-coach. And ahead of the conference, you can use it, and it sounds like me, has all my book, my knowledge, my notes in it to create your own talk outline for a signature talk. And if you do that and you come to conference and you see me, I will review it with you in person and give you live feedback for free 99 if you needed more incentive to do that. So
whoa, that's huge. I cannot even imagine the time that you poured into making that. That is amazing. Thank you for sharing that.
It's pretty dope. Like, I mean, I don't say that about everything, but I'm really proud of this one.
Yeah, I'm going to check it out because I'm just as much a freak about ChatGPT. The audience knows. That thing's my best friend. I use it for everything. So I'm definitely going to go check that out and see what it can tell me, because I'm very excited now.
Yes, please do. And then email me, and I want to see what it comes up with.
I will. Aleya, thank you again for joining me today. I don't want to end this, but I have to. I have things I have to do, but I want to talk to you forever. So I'm going to go talk to your GPT now.
Okay, that sounds good. So thank you so much for having me, Shasta.
Thank you, guys. We'll see you at Women in Automotive in August in Nashville. Can't wait to see you. And Aleya, I cannot wait to see you in person.